nothing changed. It doesn't show up anymore, right?
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of Monday, March 24th to order. Please rise for prayer or reflection and pledge of allegiance. We gather together to make decisions for our community. May we use only our best skills and judgment, keeping our minds and hearts impartial. Let us always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Here.
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 Here. Here. Here.
Thank you. An executive session was held this evening at 6 p.m. for the purpose of collecting information or educating agency members about an issue. Are there any revisions or additions to the agenda? There being none, are there any public comments on agenda items? Please step to the podium and state your name and address. There being no public comments, we have a public presentation, a proclamation by the mayor for 2025 National Library Week.
Running the library, you're all here. No, I am going to do a 2025 National Library Week proclamation. Whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can explore new ideas and be drawn to new possibilities. Whereas libraries serve as a vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and lifelong learning. Whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas the PA Forward Literacy Its Power initiative highlights how libraries and staff encourage literacy in basic information, civic and social health, and financials, which contributes to greater personal and community success. Whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations, connecting the dots to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. Whereas libraries workers have worked to expand fluency in the digital literacy skills needed to navigate the online world, which 21st century information exists. Whereas libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEAM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning. Whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunities that support career growth and economic success. Whereas getting a library card is a financially literate action. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme Drawn to the Library. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Donald Baumgarten, Mayor of Castle Shannon Borough, proclaim National Library Week, April 6 through 12, 2025. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library and create the opportunities they unlock for us every day. Thank you. I want to say something else. You know, I was here when they built the library. That was quite a few years ago. And had served on the library board at one time, helped them with their budget at one time. I believe, I really believe that our library is a gem. There's a lot of people, I guess, on Castle Shannon, newer people, maybe they don't even know we have a library. But we do have a library, and it's an excellent library. And since this is all being TV'd, I might as well say what I want to say. But I really think unfortunately, the people that are watching this are using a computer of some kind. But there are a lot of people that don't have a computer and wouldn't know how to use it. So I don't know how you get to those people. I know I'm talking to the people that have a computer, so they don't need to worry about it. But their neighbors, maybe their neighbors don't, they're older, or maybe they just don't believe in it or something. But they should come down to the library where they'll get taught. People will teach them how to use it for basic information. And then maybe that'll encourage them to come to the library and participate in a lot of the activities. I just think that somewhere along the line, we need to get more people interested in the library, because I don't know how many people in Castle Shannon don't have any access to anything. So I don't know how you get to it other than people that are watching this, maybe their neighbor, tell their neighbor, we have a great library. So I believe in it. I've always felt that that's a jewel in this community. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that don't use it. But anyhow, I don't know what else to say, but you guys are doing a great job. And I appreciate it myself so much. I don't know how to explain it, but I do appreciate it. So you're all good people, and you're all helping in the library. And I just said it. I said library. This is there was a gentleman in Castle Shannon who was a councilman, and he was a former mayor. And I couldn't get him to not say library. He would say library, and I would say, no, it's library. You ever see that commercial where the kid sitting,
We're still.
talking about the insurance company, but anyhow, no, it's a pleasure to get up here and talk to you people, because I love you all, and good luck, and what else can I say? Thank you.
I just want to say real quickly, thank you for your continued support of the Community Library of Castle Shannon. We call ourselves the Community Hub. We're there for everything. National Library Week, as you read the proclamation, is coming up in April from the 6th to the 12th. One of our biggest events of the year is the 4th annual Tiny Art Show. So it's a 3x3 canvas, and we ask that people take one, create art, return them, and then they'll be on display. We are trying something new this year with a silent auction. So these canvases were given out. You have the option to donate to the silent auction or not. And then the artwork created by all ages can be donated to the auction, and then all proceeds will go to our summer reading program. So we want to personally invite each and every one of you. Danelle is passing out the invitation to you to our Tiny Art Show. It will be held on Tuesday, April 8th at 6:30 p.m. and our doors will open at 6:15. I would just ask that after the meeting, if council could stay and we could all stand up and get a picture. The Allegheny County Library Association and also the Pennsylvania Library Association would appreciate any pictures that we have from people like the mayor reading our proclamation tonight. So thank you again, and the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. I know that our library gets a lot of use, so there are people that don't use it, but we have great usage. So, I mean, the mayor's, sort of intimated that maybe it's not used as much as it could be, but I think we get.
Over 70,000 people visited our library last year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no matter when I go up there, there's, people there that, I had my granddaughter there playing last week. The only thing I will say, I had to drag my adult chair to the kids section because if I got on one of those sofas, I need a forklift to get me up. So, but she had a wonderful time and I literally had to drag her out. So it's a great place for, even if you want to take your grandchildren or your kids there for a couple hours, just there's crafts, there's books, there's,
Tax
she
forms.
nursed 3 babies,
Tax forms.
Yeah, there's all kind of forms. So thank you for all that you do and, and always your smiling faces there. So.
Madam President, I went there 50,000 times myself.
Thank you.
Would you like to comment? Sure, we'll do this now. Yeah. Since we're on the library, so.
Marian Randazzo, 913 Arch Avenue. I'm on the Library Board of Trustees, as you know. And I couldn't pass this opportunity up without acknowledging and honoring our staff that are here this evening. We have Miss Amber, our children's librarian. We have Peggy Platt, our staff. We have Donnell, our serve desk supervisor. We have Heather Myra, our library director. We also have the friends back there, Kylie, who does the membership, I believe. We have Kathy Paddock, who does pretty much everything, but I think the book, used book sale right now.
Flea market, vice president.
All of the above. And we have the library board of trustees. We have Mary Craig. We have Glenn Lackey, who helps his wife quite extensively. We have Maureen, and we have Donna, our president, and I serve as vice president. And I can't recall in recent memory a stronger friends group or stronger trustees. And it takes a village to run a library. And we have wonderful staff who go above and beyond every day in their jobs for not a whole lot of money. And I feel like, they're underappreciated. We appreciate them. I'm preaching to the choir. But thank you for being here and thank you for everything you do every day. It's much appreciated.
Okay, thank you all. And moving on, we need an approval of the minutes. If everyone has read the minutes from the previous meeting, if there's no corrections or additions, I need a motion to approve the March 10th, 2025 Borough Council Business Meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Administration, we have the collective bargaining agreement from the police department employees. Do you have any comments on that for them? For the audience?
I don't.
It's just the police contract for this year. The motion we move to authorize council president and borough manager to execute an agreement between the Teamster Local Union number 205 and the Borough of Castle Shannon for the period from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2028.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. We have a bid awards, contract and resolution. We have the purchase of a public works vehicle, which was in the budget this year. It's a 2024 Ford F550 XL 4x4 cab and chassis. Cochran Ford in the amount of $69,125. I think that came in under budget from our what we had budgeted. So I'll need a motion to authorize the council president and borough manager to execute all the documentation and pay Cochran Ford related to the purchase of the 2024 Ford 550 XL 4x4 cab and chassis in the CoStar's amount of $69,125.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Small little footnote on that, please. The borough manager found out that the outfitting, once we get the truck, is another $57,000. So for everybody in the audience, it's a borough resident, between the police department and MRTSA and our public works people, these costs of these vehicles are never going down. They're always going up. And between the police and MRTSA being on the road constantly, 24 hours a day, just to let everybody know, this isn't easy.
And
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a contract with Edmunds GovTech to update our financial software. I need a motion to authorize the borough manager to contract with Edmunds GovTech to transition from server-based to cloud-based financial software for the first year investment of $16,250. There is a,
Dave has a question.
Before you make that motion, Mr. Manager, can you please, for the attendees, just give us an overview of why this change is being made and the purpose of it and potentially the annual fee associated with it, please?
Sure. Madam President, the staff has been investigating our financial software. The system we currently have has been in place for a number of years. When I first came on board in September of 2023, I met with our IT vendor, and we started looking at capital expenses going out 2 to 5 years. We had identified that we were going to move or actually decommission our server in 2026. The 5-year cost for that, so every 5 years, the borough was spending somewhere on the order of $15,000 to $20,000 for a new server. By going with a cloud-based archiving our documents on the cloud, we can avoid that cost every 5 years. Of course, with our financial software residing on that server, we're also going to have to move that in the cloud. So that's what staff is requesting council take action on this evening, is to get that process started. In talking with the vendor, it's going to take somewhere on the order of 12 months to have that software installed. So we're hoping that we can have the decommissioning occur around the same time that we had the new software installed. I don't remember the original cost of the software all those years ago. I don't know if Lori might remember the number, but it's probably very similar to what staff is requesting council consider tonight. There is an annual maintenance with our current software. That's around $4,200 a year. By moving to the cloud-based software, we'll be looking at an annual expense of about $5,000. So just a little bit more. And with any new software, there's a lot more capability and a lot more uses that staff will be able to work with this new software. So, Madam President, I hope I addressed the councilman's concern.
any other questions for?
No, I don't have any more. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion then to move to.
I'm sorry, one more question. The initial $16,250, how is that going to be paid for purposes of?
Madam President, I was able to negotiate with the company to break that payment into 5 payments. 4 of those payments will occur in 2025. One of those payments will occur in 2026 of roughly $4,000 a payment. Staff did some investigating of the budget, and with some savings we've identified, we have found more than half of that expense with some of the savings we've incurred so far this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if there's no other questions, I need to move to authorize the borough manager to contract with Edmunds GovTech to transition from server-based to cloud-based. And I will note that we are using Edmunds GovTech because they have been our contractor for a long time, and we've had excellent, Lori can attest to excellent service and results. So we're using Edmunds to transition from server-based to cloud-based financial software for a first-year investment of $16,250.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Thank you. Council committee reports, community engagement and events.
Community Day meetings continue, making some good progress. Working closely with the CSRC. So May 31st. And I want to talk to you, Michael, after Mr. Manager afterwards about the billboard on 88 that they said we could get some free advertising on that. So maybe we can jump on that.
Okay, so it's scheduled for May 31st,
Yes.
the community day. And that's the Saturday after Memorial Day. And we chose that because that we have a lot of people that are do other things Memorial Day weekend. So we thought that would be a better, that, staff, met and discussed and threw things around. And so with the new park opening and it's just going to be a big fun year, I think. Thank you for all your work. Finance?
Yes, I received 2 check registers dated March 14th and March 21st. Lori, I hate to ask you my annual question. On the check registers, there's actually like a separate section on a couple of the pages where it says expenditure entry verification listing. It's not a check, it's something else. My question is, why is Laurel Ford in the amount of $2,670 listed twice? And then why is Laurel Ford for $45,225 listed twice?
It was just a repeat of the Laurel Ford is the same for both pages, the same check number, same everything. So it's just a reprint on that.
Yeah, that's the other question I had. Do you notice on the $2,670, it was check number 20213, and the second one was 1649. What kind of checking system do we have? Whether it's a 5-digit?
When they're hand cut, they're in the check line.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good.
And Madam President, to just expand on your question, my understanding is the $2,600 was for the warranty for the vehicle.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. That's correct.
That's correct. We talked about that last time. Thank you. And again, there's no confusion about, we didn't pay for both those things twice, right? Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So get back to the March 14th one. It was a Kesco mechanical contractor. It looked like a water pump for the library. The amount was $2,900. Was this bid, or is this something the library does, or how's that done?
Madam President, I believe that was maybe a misstatement on what the repair was, because that was for the boiler for the library that it actually failed the inspection. And so we had our vendor come in, they did an assessment, they found that what was not working properly, and that part was replaced. So that's what that expense was for, is to replace that part in the boiler.
Okay, so did we just go right back to Kesco mechanical contract?
We worked
instead
with
of?
Kesco, yes.
Okay, all right.
We had received I'm sorry, we had received a price quote before we approved the purchase.
And secondly, on the check register of 321, it looks like there was, we paid the PureTech, PIRTEK Monroeville Public Works front loader repair of $235 and change. It had to cost us more to go all the way to Monroeville. Probably a staff member took it out there, I imagine, right? And
I would imagine, although I would have to confirm that.
and again, it was $235 was the front loader, the repair. I just can't even imagine why there isn't anybody local to do that, and then wasting a public works person's time, like to and fro, why that would have been so. Again, I'm good with the rest of the check registers. Lori, did you have anything?
No, he took all my questions.
Sorry.
And Madam President, I'll do some follow-up for council and
Good, thank you.
see if I can find out what's behind that.
Okay. HR personnel policy. I don't think there's anything. Codes. There's still the vacancy on planning commission.
Heard anything?
And I think we have a report on local business
The
violations again.
706 Castellana Boulevard is the Asian Massage, that their building permit was approved. I think they were taken under the assumption that they could just move in there. But I had to go put signs up again because they don't have occupancy. And through all the hearings we've had between planning commission and council, there's a lot of conditions that were put on them that has to be met. None of yet have been done yet. So, right now, that's where we're at. They have to meet all the conditions that were put on them.
Okay, have you met with them? Okay.
Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I'm meeting one of them.
Okay, yes.
And who you meeting with?
Trying to think of her name.
Is it the landlord
He said-
or the owner?
No, one of the operators.
No, the opera. How about the guy who needs an interpreter? He's not going to be there.
Now, the girl I talked to on the phone, I could understand her, but this is only going to be
Preliminary.
Towards getting the conditions taken care of.
Because, yeah, I know they all have to be licensed. I mean, I've said I'd like to have
There's
copies of the
quite a
licenses.
few things they have to do.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, they've got a long road to hoe yet.
So is the police at any time get involved in any of that?
Part of the conditions too, which I was talking to Ken about this, collaborate.
You and Paul? Great, thank you.
Thank you. Public safety, police department, we have anything?
Yes, Madam President, it is spring. You know, and spring in Pennsylvania brings road construction. So it's that season. Tomorrow, Tatiana will be back at the intersection of Castle Shannon Boulevard and Mount Lebanon Boulevard, finishing up the pavement markings from the project that ended prematurely when winter hit. So that'll be a mess. We would prefer that people stay away from Castle Shannon Boulevard, Mount Lebanon Boulevard tomorrow at all costs between 8 and 4. So that's that. And then that'll finish that project. And April 7th, Moranti Construction comes in and starts on the sidewalk and curb repair adjacent to the Port Authority lot. So that project will be months in the making. I met with Moranti this morning. There will be lane restrictions, and that intersection again of Mount Lebanon Boulevard and Castle Shannon Boulevard will be a little testy while that is working. When they finish the detailed contract and we have our final construction meeting and we know the times and dates for that construction will be posted on our website as we posted the project for tomorrow. And that's all I have, man.
Thank you so much.
Is Port Authority doing that?
Moranti is subcontracting from Port Authority, yes. And they will do the curb and sidewalk repair along Mount Lebanon Castle Shannon Boulevard. And that project is in 3 phases, and they'll be closing portions of the Port Authority parking lot, but they will be leaving some parking open during each phase. And so I'm assuming that if you go to the Port Authority, the PRT website, they probably will have an in-depth description and syndicate that on our website as well. So that our
If they're doing the whole like entrance to entrance.
yes.
Okay, thank you. The fire department, their public works,
Not done.
thank you. Board reports, Allegheny County Boroughs Association, I have nothing to report on that. Civil service, nothing to report. Economic development,
Economic development, there's an upcoming meeting that myself and the manager will attend in regards to the St. Anne Station being raised over the next couple of years to make it ADA accessible. So they're in the preliminary stages now, but they're going to give us more information, and then there'll be a public forum to accept comment on that. As far as the CSRC, which is part of that, their last meeting was the 12th that I attended to. They are setting up their stream cleanup for sometime in May, along with working with the council on Community Day for May 31st, which our Madam President had mentioned as well. So they're also offered to purchase a stage for borough, for their usage and borough usage, which we'll store for future events in the future.
Okay, thank you.
And Madam President, that stage was ordered today.
Very good, thank you. And it appears, well, we're having some difficulty with Hamilton Park. We've always used the showmobile from the county to come into Hamilton Park, but we're not sure it's going to fit this year. Or, you know, that we can back it in and get it. So our next option was the stage. Well, the stage that we've used for the last probably 10 years that I can remember, if not longer, is pretty rickety. So the Revitalization Corporation has offered to purchase a stage that can be used for the fire department when they do their bands down at the carnival. It'll be used at community day. It'll be used at street events. So that was ordered today, and hopefully we can put that under the pavilion for the music for community day. The logistics are still getting worked out.
Where are we gonna store it?
The logistics are still being worked out.
Garage.
Probably wherever we stored the old stage. I'm
Downstairs?
not sure where the old stage was stored, if it was in the
It's at
garage.
Public Works Building, I believe.
Yeah, so,
And the new stage will be larger also. so.
yeah. So there is a storage area associated with the pavilion, but I don't know if so we'll have to work that out. Library, is there any, I think we've covered just about everything from the library.
I was going to just say thank you to everybody. So thank you so much, library staff. Heather, you do an amazing job. Library trustees, friends of the library. Friends of the Library has a new Facebook page. And the library also has a Facebook page. So check it out. There's lots of stuff going on at the library. Thanks again for everyone.
Mary?
And I also want to mention about the used book sale, how successful it was. We have a few people here from the Friends, so they raised over $3,200. So kudos to them for all their effort.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. A lot of people pitched in to make it a success, and it's a lot of pressure because you figure they had an amount last year that they raised, and to surpass that number every year, and they always seem to do it. And kudos to them for doing it. So that, and also the flea market is coming up Saturday, April 12th from 9 to 2. And also there's a fundraiser this Friday night at the coal mine from 5 to 10 p.m. And also, it was mentioned about the Tiny Art Show, and that's so much fun every year. We look forward to it. All these budding artists, and it's really a lot of fun. So if you can come and fit it in your schedule, it would be much appreciated. That's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Medical Rescue Team staff?
Yes, our next meeting is day after tomorrow, Wednesday, the 26th at 7 PM at Martza Building. And I attended a meeting last week, just a smaller group, a committee meeting regarding new vehicles. And I think I've said enough about that tonight. So just warning you.
Yeah, it's just the cost is just going up. Thank you. Jaycog, anything?
Yes, I did attend the SHACOG meeting on the March 20th, last Thursday. They had a presentation by First Commonwealth Bank, who is their new depository bank. And they spoke about mitigating interest rate risk moving forward with what's going on in the economy today. They do offer treasury services, and a lot of their investments for municipalities and boroughs is very conservative, and they keep them primarily all liquid. So if there's an emergency, they can access those funds without any issues. And it also helps with budgeting moving forward in the future. And lastly, they're honing in on redoing their bylaws. They're hoping to do a presentation at next month's meeting, which is April 17th down in Heidelberg. And we'll review those and possibly put those in place. They haven't updated those for probably 15 years or longer. So we're looking to do that as well.
Okay, thank you
That's
so much. Allegheny County Southwest Tax Collection Committee, anything there?
Nothing to report.
Mayor's report.
I have just a couple more things about the library.
Why are we not surprised?
If you recall, some time ago, they were redoing something at the Mount Lebanon Library. So it had been closed. A lot of people that went to the library at Mount Lebanon were coming down to. And I got a lot of feedback, and other people as well, that they thought they were impressed. They thought this was a great library. So that was a good accolade. The other thing that I do remember, I remember when the building was ready to collapse. I don't know if anybody here remembers that. But a few windows broke in the upstairs. There was no basement. So former Councilman Mike Chebarenchik and I went down there, took our engineer down. We looked underneath as best we could, and we found that the foundation, the building had shifted very slightly from its original foundation. And if it went any further, the building would have just collapsed. So So what had happened is the contractor who built the library backfilled underneath with pyrite, which when it gets wet, it expands. So it was expanding and it was pushing against the walls. The library was starting to bulge, and that's why the windows broke. So we hurried up and got a contractor out there. And council, of course, agreed. We had to redo that whole underneath there. So they had to go in underneath the library and pull all this pyrite out. And when they did that, since it was cleared out, we made a room down there. And that's where that room is right now. So you didn't have a room. But fortunately, we were able to save the library. When I say we, but whoever was involved, we saved the library. And that was a dangerous point in the career of the library. And I don't know how many people remember that, but it was very close to coming down. And so we were able to do that, and that saved the library. So we still talk about it now. But I just thought I'd mention that. That's a little bit of history that people don't understand or don't know really about the library. And so anyhow, we took care of that. So that's new. I can go back a long way to tell you a lot of stories about the library, but I won't.
We don't have enough time.
Get the gavel on.
We'd be here all night.
We don't have enough time. Always interesting, Mr. Mayor, you're reminiscing. Managers report,
I have nothing, Madam President.
solicitors report.
I have nothing. Thank
Real estate tax collector, Eileen's not here. Public comment, non-agenda items. What? Anybody that has non-agenda, please come to the podium, state your name and address and let us know what's on your mind.
My name is Jill Blair, and I live at 920 Newport Drive.
What was your last name, Blair?
Blair, Blair.
I'm Carolyn Bell, live at 924 Newport Drive,
Newport?
Newport.
We are here for 930 Newport Drive. The house back in October, there's been some issues with it for a long while. Currently, the roof is caving in and open completely on the top on the one side. We brought it to Paul's attention because raccoons were crawling out of the house with the person living in it. They were getting aggressive and causing an issue in the neighborhood. So we got video of them crawling out. I brought it to Paul. Within a couple days, there was a note on the house that said that it was uninhabitable. So since then, nothing has been done. October, that's when this happened. The house has been sitting. The owner comes and goes here and there. It's a hoarding situation where literally stuff is piled. There's this much at the top window that does not have, I have pictures if anybody wants to see and pass them along. The current issue now is the raccoons that are living in there. There's possums underneath the foundation. There are fox living inside this house, and there's like almost a turf war going on between all these animals. We hear them at night. We hear them during the day. They're coming out in daylight. It's very concerning. I have 3 boys. We have animals. I reached out to Paul a couple weeks ago. I have the email here in March. There were 2 raccoons fighting in broad daylight right as my kids were going to the bus. Carolyn caught it on video, and they ran towards the bus stop fighting where the kids were. So I reached out to Paul asking, what are we doing? His email back to me stated, I will be trying to reach out to her and we'll start the condemnation process, but I will hope to convince her to sell because it takes a long time, legal process that I must follow. I ride through quite frequently. It seems like the lights are on in the back room, but not every night. There's on the paper on the house, it does say that it's a fire hazard. There's combustible materials and there's electricity still going to the house. There's lights on 24/7. I then responded back, thanks for the update. We have not seen her in months and neither have the neighbors. The light in the back and the front room are on 24/7, makes us nervous because it is a fire hazard. Should the power be turned off to the house? I also said, we found in some of the ordinances, I said, would it be something the borough would be willing to do is cover the holes to keep the animals out to make the neighborhood safe? 0 reply back. So at that point, we've seen more animals. Literally, the corner of the house is being supported by a rock. The whole foundation swept away. There's a picture in there that you can see through broad daylight to the other side. That is where the power line is attached at the top corner. So as soon as that one rock moves, the house is gonna pull, and I'm afraid of it catching neighbors' houses on fire. I'm afraid of these animals that could be rabid or have diseases. They're going where the kids' bus stop is located, and now they're actually starting to fight one another.
What's the address again of that house?
9:30.
930.
9:30. It does,
Yeah, the ordinance that we're referring to is short. I don't want to read everything to you guys. You know, it's on 914, ordinance 914. She's, for years, have already violated a bunch of the, violations in the code of conduct for Castle Shannon. But just recently, seeing as it's posted now, I believe it says in here in section 10 of 914 that the, Castle Shannon Borough reserves the right to, update the violation within 72 hours of anything occurring or no action being taken on it by the owner. So that reserves the right for you guys to clean it up with your own power. And if there's no power for you guys to do it, you can also contract out for somebody to come clean up around the house or stabilize or shut off, make safe all the electricity, or any utilities. I'm directly adjacent to this house. So also, I might be wanting to sell my house in the next 5 years or something. This is gonna drastically decrease the price of my home or anyone else's house, wanting to come into that neighborhood.
and quite frankly, when I brought it the initial time to Paul's attention, he initially laughed, which I didn't find it funny. The kids were at the bus stop, the raccoons were coming out of the house, they were fighting, and did not have any response back. I think is a little frustrating. We're asking for help here. It's been sitting for 6 months, and to have no response, I think it's.
I know these things take a long time in our process, but do you have a response, Paul, to this one?
Sorry if you thought I laughed. I didn't laugh at all. I don't find it funny. I
think your response
I
was,
find it very disturbing. That house is disturbing to me. And I did reach out right after you called me, sent 2 registered letters, one to her house, one to her daughter's house, telling them I am going to condemn the house. And I was waiting for a response to come back. Now it's been long enough that where I would be posting a condemnation. But as far as tearing it down, I
think making it safe. You didn't respond to my last email. Well, that was within the same day. We were going back and forth. And
I don't know what happened there then if I.
okay. I think I was just looking for, I felt ignored when we were going back and forth within that same email thread in the same day. And then when we asked for something on our end to make it safe, it just went to the wayside and there was no response. So
So-
know about this, Michael?
What kind of options do we have? I know we're limited in what we can do. which
You are aware of this?
unfortunately is,
But we have to go to the magistrate at some point too.
That we had an.
Yeah.
Would anything he says supersede what
identified an issue.
we can possibly do?
I could probably get the power shut off, I would imagine. You think I would? Yeah.
I mean,
It says that there's combustible materials in the house.
Well, it's definitely a fire hazard. I agree
so,
with
but I mean,
everything.
I guess my question, Paul, is if, no offense, but if you put that notice on a house 6 months ago, we should have taken action to follow up on a posting that we put on the house.
Right, and now I've done the combination, I did send a notice out.
And then was there follow-up?
Or now I gotta put the condemnation signs up.
I think there was follow-up when I reached out.
Yeah, and
The uninhabitable ones are up.
Yes, but
Yeah,
I
now
think
that
nothing was done since the uninhabitable until I reached out 2 weeks ago when the raccoons were fighting again and ran to where my children were standing. So you have to understand that it's a safety concern
I understand that. I
and
do.
it's very concerning. And to see it sit there and not get response, that's where,
we understand things take time to
yes.
take care of the whole situation, but there are, why I keep bringing this up is there are ways that you guys have written in your code now that you can help the situation before it gets to the point where then you're actually condemning the property. The property can be cleaned up,
We've been through this.
it can.
You can't do anything without going to the magistrate. And when it
You
goes to the
can't clean up the
magistrate,
property?
well,
Well,
this isn't the first time this has happened. So
Dennis has suggested that we do a staff meeting.
We'll do that right after this meeting, if we can find to, I'm not aware of it. We can have time to talk with Paul, the manager.
And to see what steps we have available to us that we can see if we can move this any faster.
Yeah, just to make it safe. I mean, we get that it's a long process, but just to make it safe, get the animals out somehow. Or, you know, I shouldn't be concerned with my kids walking to the bus stop at 7:10 in the morning.
Sure.
And then may I visit with you after the meeting? I'll get your contact information and that we can, that way I
Absolutely.
can follow up.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's someone living there?
She comes and goes. The mail was overflowing, but it's gone as of a couple days ago. And Amazon packages still come.
She
They,
was living there up till the letter was
Yes.
posted.
That makes a difference on what can be done.
yeah, she just comes to pick stuff up, it seems like. I haven't really seen anybody in her house.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to address council on any issues? If not, we have old business. Any old business? I have an old business question for Kevin. How are we doing on, I know have you moved the historical? Have you moved the historical information?
It's in the building. It's in this building.
Okay, so have you been able to address it all, or you need any help addressing it, or?
No, I have not gone through it yet. I mean, I brought with me today and I didn't put it with the rest of the stuff. This was part of what we pulled out of the library. This is from 1942. I said 41. It's pretty interesting. It's a war rations book. And it has the coupons in it for whenever they would buy their sugar and such. So this is part of what's in that, in that collection that we took out of that cupboard down there. So I can't wait to go through it. But I got no place to really do anything with it yet.
Yeah.
We can start going through it, but there's no place to put it yet. So we have to talk about that. But some of the stuff, Jeremy helped me move.
When you need help, let me know.
We found a map from 1700s.
What's that?
We found a map from the 1700s.
Oh, yeah.
By the time you were born, right?
That's before I give you what's in my attic from my parents and grandparents.
Sure, we're going to take whatever we can get.
Yeah, so if anybody has any historical documentation or anything they want to donate to the Castrichan Historical Society, bring it up to the Borough Building and
We'll take care of it.
take care of it.
We're going to start sorting through the stuff, like I said, that we got out of the library. I don't know, Heather, when did we get that? About a month ago, maybe? Not even 3 weeks. And it's in the building here, so it's locked up. We're filing cabinets and a whole bunch of boxes.
Thank you. Any other old business? And any new business? I just want to mention for the general public and for those people at home that I had a friend that needed help, elderly couple, and they called the Department of Aging. And she called me tonight to tell me that they got wonderful assistance from the Department of Aging to handicap railings, to services, so if anybody knows of an elderly neighbor or someone that might need assistance, the Pennsylvania Department of Aging has lots of services. I just wanted to get that out there. If there's no other new business, I'll need a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you all. Thank you.